This is the home of the common Joe and the common Sally in the know, even more so than all those media talking heads. Hate to be egotistical and pat myself on the back, but seems like a little theory that I've been floating for quite some time now that the Big Ten and the SEC are indeed going to end up seceding from the NCAA, maybe catching some legs from some well-known sources like Dennis Dodd and John Kurtz, among others. And what really has irked me about this whole thing is that you have a lot of these Big Ten and other podcasts outside the realm here in the South that basically said that they would never consider secession to Big Ten. We would never consider something like that. We're just above all that fray. We're all about the academia, when we all know that is horseshit. And just a few examples out there. There's a podcast by the name of Big 12 Mafia. It's a decent podcast. Check it out. He has a few guys on there with him. One's named Immaculate, another one's Moan After Dark. He dresses up in 2000 ass clown suits for every show. Immaculate, who's an Iowa guy, made a little statement that sort of rubbed me the wrong way. I mean, he tries to say he's not talking down to people, but he's absolutely talking down to people because he said that they would never consider secession. We don't do that in the Big Ten. We don't consider secession. Oh, yes, you do. Y'all made the entire Pac-12 secede to your conference. You might try to say that the Big 12 had more blood on their hands, but y'all absolutely had more blood on your hands because y'all started the secession of the Pac-12 into the Big 10. Now, I know that's different than seceding from the NCAA, but this is going to come down to money. And it's not nowhere near as important as y'all try to make it out to be as far as the academia goes. It's just not. And I know y'all going to try to play the card and the stereotypical thing. That people hate for me to say that because that's just a Southern guy talking. They don't care about academics. They're all about sports. And they'll stereotype me because I got the black cowboy hat on because I'm a Southern guy and they consider us rednecks and beneath them. But those days are long gone. Y'all can continue to straw grasp to that shit if you want to. But you being so much more superior to us in academics, it's just not true anymore. And while y'all may hype your stuff up and have higher academic standards and entrances and all that stuff, it really doesn't matter if your academic level is higher and your entrance requirements are higher if you're fixing grades. And that's absolutely what's been going on since the 1920s. Even in the 1980s, here recently, Lou Holtz and Notre Dame were caught up in some Tubergate shit. People forget about that. But it doesn't matter how high your entrance exam requirements are if everybody's getting them fixed by somebody. Y'all can say, well, you ain't got proof of that. Well, I ain't got to. It's my opinion. In my opinion is they've been fixing grades for quite some time everywhere. Not just the SEC, the Big Ten, everywhere. And now that I've ruffled a few feathers in the elitist wannabe crowd that I'll probably get some grill back from, now for the topic, the main topic here, which is the Big Ten and the SEC seceding and forming their own league outside the NCAA, especially for football. I absolutely think that that's going to happen. May not happen in the next couple of years after this 2-year deal. May not. But I could see 5 or 6 years down the road that the Big Ten and the SEC are no longer a part of the NCAA. They'll probably, as I said in the previous podcast, add a few more teams and cherry pick. Maybe they won't. Maybe they'll just go to 40. Maybe cherry pick 6 teams. The Big Ten needs 2 more. The SEC needs 4 more. Could absolutely be that 40 number they've been talking about. I'm hoping for 48 because I want a few more teams in there, just so that it's not too much like the NFL. But they're going to the power grab is becoming over the top. Even for me as an SEC guy, it's become pretty cringy at the demands that the Big Ten and the SEC are making. They're basically, I think, intentionally trying to piss off the other conferences and the other teams that are probably not going to get invited if the secession takes place. These teams won't get invited. They're trying to piss them off to the point where they absolutely want to separate from them on their own, possibly. But that's probably a bit of a reach. But they are asking for some over the top stuff, in my opinion. The Big Ten, the SEC want at least 3 automatic qualifiers, from what I understand. They're now also going to be asking for automatic bids into the top 4 to get an automatic bye for their conference champion, regardless of record, because they're saying that the Big Ten, the SEC is such, they're 2 conferences that are so tough that they deserve an automatic bid into the bye section of the playoffs, which would be the top 4. So those are some high demands, and I think it's going to piss a lot of people off. And like I said, it may even make these other teams and conferences want the Big 12 and the SEC to succeed. The big question is also, what would they do with basketball? The NCAA tournament's a big part of Americana. What are they going to do about that? If they just go to 40 or 48 teams, there's no longer, they get 68 teams in that thing. What I think they're going to do is just have a separate governing body for that, just like they do for the NFL and the NBA. What do y'all got to say about all that? A lot of controversy, a lot of hot buttons are being pushed here. Drop it in the comment section. Give me your hot button. Put a hot button in there. Press that button for us. Now we're shaking things up and doing things a little different today. Now we have the 4 horsemen shout-outs of the day. And the 4 horsemen shout-outs go to Denizen, Dale Sent, James, and Jack Acker were mounted up and saddled up, and they were ready to go and helped us with today's college football invasion. And if you want your badge like them guys, as well as possibly get a random 4 horsemen shout-out, as well as possibly be the comment of the day, all you got to do is hit that little join button next to the subscribe button, 2 different things. It's $2.99 a month, 75 cents a week. You'll get your badge, you'll get deputized, and you'll be in the outlaw posse. Also, you can do the big 4, which are totally free, but they really help me as far as the algorithm goes. And that's like, share, comment, and subscribe to this channel. Subscriptions are most important. They help keep the lights on. Also, I can be found on Twitter, aka X, at OCF Productions. And with that, I'm out of here. KMCA to all the other teams. Class is now officially dismissed.